Hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Visa Stamping Series. Are you an aspirant who wanted to visit the dreamland of United States? Or my kids or grandkids are there in the United States. I just wanted to go there and visit my grandkids and spend time with them. I'm a business ambassador or a tech lead from a leading company, and my company is asking me to visit the land of opportunities to grab more business or create more opportunities for my organization. Or you are a student, or you are a farmer, or anyone for that matter who wanted to visit United States, the first and foremost form that you have to fill in order to get a visa stamped in your passport is the form DS-160. In this video, I am going to take you step by step in filling out the form. I entered this dreamland using employment-based visa. So I'm going to help anyone who wanted to come into United States using the category of employment on H1 or L1 type of visa. So this video is about filling out the form for employment-based visa. Open your favorite browser and go ahead and type DS160 form. And the first search result itself is going to give you this application form directly. Click that. This is going to be a little exhaustive video, so feel free to use the L button of the YouTube shortcut to skip it forward, or go to your favorite part or the part where you have questions and clarify that questions. Otherwise, stay tuned and try to fill the form with me. That way you can get it done by the end of this video. You'll be able to finish your form as well. So before you get started, have the passport and the petition, approved petition with you, so that it's easy for us to pull the information out of that forms and fill it in this application. To start with, like, the first question that will be asked is the location, selection of the location, basically to determine which country you belong to. So I'm going to select India. So I select the drop down and then I click I button. So it's going to directly drop me to the bottom of the list. So I'm going to say, you can select any part. It's going to ask you to type the capita HTJMN, and there are two options. One is to start a new application and one is to retrieve an application. So for the sake of video, I have finished this form. So for now, I'm going to show you this, how to start a new application. Then I'm going to retrieve an application, and then I'm going to walk through all the questions of my filled application. So I'm giving start. So now there is a new disclosure form. So you have to press agree here, and then this is the application ID. So this application ID, I would say copy and put it in your notepad, so that this is going to be useful if you have to retrieve this password. So sometimes, not many times, you'll be able to finish the whole application in a single shot. So I would recommend you to copy this and put it in a notepad. So this I have already done, copy. Pick one of your favorite questions. I'm going to choose the first question. So give a name of your mother, so you cannot go wrong anywhere. And I'm going to give Mary. And if I click continue, it is going to open this form for me. So it's a brand new application. This is how this is the first page of this application. You can start filling out the form. So now I'm going to show you like how to retrieve an application. I'm searching the DS160 form again, and I'm going to this page. So this is my first page. So I'm going to select my country again. Then I'm going to enter the capita. Then I'm going to click retrieve. So if I'm going to click retrieve, it's going to ask application ID. So I'm going to paste my application ID here. I'm going to say retrieve. So now it asks me for the questions. So these three values, you make sure that you remember it, or you store it in a place wherever you are storing your application ID, because at times this will come really handy when filling out the form. So make sure that you save it. So this is the first page you will be looking at. So once you retrieve the form, the first question you will be filling a surname. So I would say have the passport, take what name you have in the surname, copy and put it exactly the same way. Even if you have spaces or any characters in your name, put it exactly the way you have it in your passport. So basically your surname, that is your last name in India, and then your given name. So copy it from the passport and put it here. So I'm not sure if anyone has a native alphabet name in India. So just go ahead and choose the do not apply option. Then the next question they are going to ask is, have you ever used other names or maiden name, religious names? So this will be mostly applicable for women who has taken their last name or changed their last name. So that in that case, like, try to give this answer as yes. So it will ask you to fill the other names here. If you don't have a different name, if you haven't changed your name, just give no. So that makes the form a little bit simpler and you can keep going. Then do you have a telecode that represents your name? So that means, like, telecodes are 4-digit code numbers that represent characters in some non-Roman. I don't think this is even applicable for Indians. So go ahead and go to the next step. So here you are going to mention your sex, then your marital status. So there are different types of statuses here. If you're selecting married, then it is going to ask your spouse's name in your later section. Then it's going to ask your information from your passport. So now that you have your passport in your hand, you can fill out your date of birth exactly the same. US generally follows month, day and year, but for this form, if you see here, it is day, month and year. So don't worry about it. It's anyways a drop down, so you can't go wrong. So make sure what you see in the passport and fill it out here. Then the city is from your passport. So fill out your city, then state. If you have a state that has got changed or split, but your passport is having whatever the state your passport has, fill that. Don't overthink it. Just use your passport as a reference to fill these pages. Then you can, it's obvious that you have to select the country is India. Then you can go to the next step, personal information to page. You have to again select your nationality. Even though you are filling it out of India, you might be, you would have born in a different country. So I know friends who are born in Middle East, but they are basically Indians. But you mention your nationality here, from which country you are filling. Then the next question is, do you have held any nationality other than, yeah, so that's what I was talking about. So if your answer is yes, then you might have to answer a few more questions like which country and other passport informations and stuff. But if your answer is no, then it's not going to ask for any special question. Then the next question is, are you a permanent resident of the country or region other than the country or region in the original nationality? So if you're a non-Indian, or if you're a permanent resident of any other country, then you have to give yes and fill those information. But if you're not, then the answer is going to be simply no. So most of the Indians, like, the answer is going to be no. If you're an exemptional person who has a different residential status, you have to choose yes. Then there is no national identification number. So this is a little confusing maybe, like, so you can say that, hey, I have an Aadhaar. I don't think they are talking about other here. There are countries that has national identification numbers. So for Indians, you simply select do not apply and move forward. So if you're coming into United States for the first time, if you're filling this form for the first time, I don't think you're going to have a social security number. So you just have to select do not apply and it's going to let you go to the next page. But if you are a spouse, again, like, US taxpayer ID is nothing but IT number. For the first timers, it's not applicable. If you're a spouse, sometimes it might be applicable. So you can select do not apply if you're coming for the first time and move forward. I'm going to the next page of travel information. So here is, please go and grab your I-797. So I'm going to show you a sample of I-797. This is how the I-797 looks like, and this first column is your receipt number. So you might need this information and also a few other information from this I-797. Go ahead and grab it so that you can fill this page faster. So the first information that you have to fill out is your purpose of visit. You have to select either H1 or if you are any other visitor, you might have to know your visa type, then you can select it. So I'm going to select H1 first, which is the temporary worker. Then the specialty occupation, I'm going to select the subcategories. If you are a H1B worker, then H1. Then if you are a spouse, then H4. So you can fill that, and then you have to copy that petition number from this I-797 receipt. So I-797 is your approved petition. So you can grab the receipt number from that petition and put it here. Okay, this is about talking about travel plans. So if you have any specific travel plans, then if your organization has booked a ticket, or if you are already ready for traveling, you know the when you're going to travel, then you can put the flight information here. But mostly, like, you might not have this information handy, because most of the people will start their planning after getting the visa stamped. So yeah, so mostly you can give the answer as no and pick any answer, give some dates in the future. So yeah, if it's 2022, then try to give it as 2022. Then don't give March, give it as October or something. So two or 3 months out of from the time that you're filling out, or from the time when you are planning to schedule your visa dropbox. So it doesn't matter. So you can even give 2023. That should be fine. Then how long you're planning to stay there, you can give it if you have a approved petition for a couple of years or 3 years, so try to give it below that. So if you have they'll give you a max of 3 years, so then give 3 years or 2.5 years, or anything below your petition range. So you might not know this information if you're traveling for the first time. So ask if your organization is there in the United States somewhere, or you might have some kind of an affiliation towards United States. That's why you're traveling. So try to get that date and fill it. So I gave my first location, like where I was about to travel, or my first client in US. So Gulf Road, then Rolling Meadows. Then I selected state Illinois, then the zip code, right? Then you get to choose, like mostly if you're traveling, if your sponsor is from India, then you might have to select your present employer. If there are folks who got an offer from United States and employer is in United States, not in India, then you have to select this option. Then otherwise you select your options appropriately. Next option. So are there other persons traveling with you? So that means, like let's say if you are planning to take along with your family, then you have to select yes, traveling party. So if you're traveling in a group, so mostly it will not be applicable. Then other questions like have you ever traveled to US? The first timers you will say no. The second timers you will say yes. Have you ever been issued a US visa? It's going to be no. Have you ever been refused a US visa? Again, it's going to be simple no. Have anyone ever filed an immigration petition on behalf of you? So this is mostly for green card applicants. So for the first timers, it's going to be no. Then your home address. So here, don't get confused. So here, this is going to be your Indian address. So even if you're filling for the second time, don't fill out United States address. It's going to be your Indian address. So your home address, take it from your ration card or from your Aadhaar card and try filling this information. Then mailing address. So let's say that if you're working in a city, then but you are planning to go to your hometown before you travel, before you start your travel, then obviously, like, you can give your mailing address is your home address. Or if not, then if your mailing address and if your home address are same, then if you give yes, then it's not going to ask you for more questions. If you're giving no, then it is going to ask you to fill out again some address informations. Then it's asking for the primary phone number. You can fill it out. Then if you wanted to give more numbers, like let's say if you're planning to change your number, or your number is not permanent, then obviously try to give the secondary numbers so that they have a valid number. Have you used other phones in the last 5 years? So if you have used different numbers, or if you have changed the numbers in the past, please give that here. Then email address, try to give your primary email address. then so that if they need to communicate on anything, they will. Yeah, if you have an alternate address, you can give it, but it's not really necessary. Even if you have, if you use a primary email address, that should do. This is a new section that got added after after I came into United States. So this is something to do with your social activities. This is a trend. They are trying to capture some information about you to identify if you are a threat or how genuine you are. So try to give all the information. Even if you don't give, they are going to pull it out some way or the other, but it's better you give it so that they know that your request here or your ask for coming into United States is genuine. So if you see here, there is a bunch of options. So you can, the most common are Facebook. Flickr is not so common. Google Plus is gone now. So Instagram, then LinkedIn mostly will be having, then Pinterest, Reddit, Tumblr, Twitter, yeah, so YouTube. So try to give as many information as possible so that they don't have to ask you a question, or the counselor is not going to ask any specific questions. So do you wish to provide information about your presence on any other websites? So if there is anything that is not listed here, and if you wanted to showcase that, then you can still. Then the next page is going to be your passport information. So for H1Bs, it's going to be a regular passport. So these are for other categories which I don't think are applicable. So go and grab your passport number. It will be right on top, or at the last page they'll give you the passport number. Copy paste it here. Then passport book number. So this is applicable for different countries, not for India. So go and choose do not apply. Go ahead and choose India as your country. Then you put your state. So again, this is a copy paste of the information from your passport. So here again, for your convenience, they have given in the not using the US convention, which is better. So you can just see the dates here and just put exactly like the one given in your passport. So mostly like the passport expiration date will be Indian passports expire in 10 years. So the expiration date will be mostly the previous day. So but again, cross check your passport and give that information here. Have you ever lost or stolen passport? So mostly it's going to be no. If you have that kind of a situation, please go and give yes, and then you might have to fill few other information. But if your answer is no, it's going to be simple and you can keep moving. Contact person in United States. So obviously this information you should have some kind of a contact information, but my easiest clue or easiest option that you can choose is your take your petition. Then if you on your petition at the end, they will give you who is filing your petition. So if you are able to copy paste that information, mostly like if it is an organization, sometimes like attorney's name will be given. So if you're able to copy paste that information here, that would make it much simpler. You don't have to overthink it. Then it's going to be then it comes to your family information here. It's going to be really simple here. So your father's information and date of birth. So you can grab your father's Aadhaar card and fill out your information. Again, same thing for your mother. Fill out this information. And if you come down, then here is the tricky question. Do you have an immediate relative not including parents in the United States? But again here, if your parents are already here in the United States and you became non-eligible because of the visa elapsed, those kind of scenarios, your parents might be in US. So then in that case you have to give yes and select what type of status they are in. If you're a H1B, if your father is a H1B, then they are in the United States and you have finished your education here and now you got an opportunity to go back to US, you might have to select this option. Otherwise, aspirants, for you, you can select no and you can keep moving. So if you have your immediate siblings or your fiance or anyone in United States, then you have to select yes for this question. Otherwise, if you're the first person to travel out of your family, then the answer is going to be no. The other relatives, you can give yes, but it doesn't matter. it's not going to ask you for more questions. You can even if you give no, it's doesn't matter. And that means like if you have cousins or any other relatives, so you can still give no and you can keep moving forward. So though I gave married on the personal section, so it is asking me this question. So I'm just filling out some information like basic your spouse information. So basically you can have take it from your marriage certificate or something, and you can fill out here. Then here comes the information about your education and your training and your work. So to start with, they're going to ask you what is the last location you have worked in India. So if you haven't worked or if you're directly traveling, then you can you might have to choose this option like what education, what is that you are doing. So you can select your appropriate option and fill out the then from when you are working here. So then also they are going to ask you for the current salary, and this is a brief description of your duties. So if you have a resume, then I would say that copy paste it from your resume. Then were you previously employed? So that means like before the last page will show you the last employer. If you were employed even before that, then you have to go into select option yes. And then if you start from your first company and start from your company before the current employer and start filling out all the give all the details. So you have to fill the address, the employer name, address, and job title, supervisor name, supervisor's given name, and fill out the information again. So again, this is, I would say that have your resume ready so that you can copy paste this information and you can keep moving forward. The next question is about your education. So you don't have to fill out your school information and stuff. So you can fill out your highest degree here, and you can. Then it's going to ask you for some basic information. Do you belong to a clan or tribe? So even if you give, I'm not sure it's going to be helpful. So like in India has a lot of caste system, so I don't think that's helpful in any way. So if you want to give it, you can go ahead and give it, otherwise you can skip it. Then you can go ahead and choose your languages that you speak. So if you click add another, it is going to add another field and you can just fill it. So I have filled 3 languages here. Anyways, this also doesn't matter. You can just fill out how many ever languages you know. That's all. Then have you ever traveled to any country regions within the last 5 years? So they wanted to know like how much what are the countries that you have traveled to determine certain factors. Yes, if you have traveled within the last 5 years, please go ahead and fill this section. If you have traveled to more than one countries, always you can click add another. It is going to give you the drop down of which country have you traveled, and then you can obviously fill it and save it. So have you belonged to, contributed to, or work for any professional, social, or charitable organization? That means are you part of any non-profit organization? So if you are a part of any non-profit organization and if you have traveled anywhere, please go ahead and mention it. So obviously if you give yes, it's going to ask you for the organization name, and they're going to just store it. If no, simply give the answer as no. Let's say if you have volunteered in some organization, you don't have to put that. Do you have any specialized skills training such as firearms, explosives? This is some question related to identifying whether you are part of any extremist groups or even really an extremist. So try to I don't know, explicitly, like if anybody who has really exposure towards these things are going to give yes, but mostly are not. So give an answer as no. Have you served in military? Yeah, if you have military experience and then you have moved your aspiration towards IT or any other industry and you're traveling towards United States, yes, you can give yes, and you can fill out your information about your military experience, which is great. If not, go ahead and give no. So have you ever served in so these are more of extremist questions. So if most of you are not an extremist, I believe, so go ahead and click no and keep moving. So Again, these are a set of very standard security questions. Some organizations run a background check. These are pretty standard questions. Go ahead and read each questions. Most of the questions, the answer will be no. But still go ahead and read your questions. If any of these things are applicable, select yes, but otherwise mostly it's no. So I'm going to skim through these questions quickly by telling what is this, so that you can simply think of your answer in your mind and start giving answers to these questions. So do you have any communicable diseases? So the special mentions here I would say would be if you have any TB problems, tuberculosis, or if you have any other infections. So syphilis, mostly like all these are very not a common diseases. So in India, at least for now. So if you don't have any of these things, like go ahead and give it as no. So do you have any mental disorders? I don't know if anyone is having a mental disorder. I don't know if they're going to even say yes. Yeah, but otherwise give answer no. So are you or have you ever been a drug abuser or an addict? I still don't think anybody is going to answer us. Yeah, but please go and give an answer no. Have you? So for these questions, if you have any kind of a record, but don't try to hide it. Even if you hide it, they are going to find out some way or the other. So if you have some kind of a medical record which says that this states this fact, or somewhere it is recorded, try to say yes. So all you have to give is an explanation saying that, hey, yes, I was like that. Then you give an explanation or a justification, say that I am not like that anymore. That should be good enough. But don't try to hide. So the background information again, if you have done any criminal activities. So if you have got arrested or something, or if you got convicted in court or something, then have you violated any laws? So in any way or the other, then are you coming to United States to do any crime like prostitution, procure prostitutes within the no? These are all questions you should definitely say no. I think mostly it will not be applicable, or anyone who is doing these kind of activities, I don't think they'll be aspirant enough to travel towards United States genuinely, at least through H1 or L1 visa. So the answer is going to be no. Again, money laundering, yeah, if you're not a criminal, mostly the answer is no. So again, if you have committed any trafficking offense, no. Then you ever knowingly aided, or if you have helped anyone, that's this question. So they're asking if they wanted to know whether you are helping or helped anyone to do all these kind of criminal activities. Mostly the answer is no. Or they also wanted to know even if your parents have done or doing any of these kind of criminal activities. Yeah, the answer mostly is no. If are you trying to do any coming to United States to do any illegal activities? So no. So these are again, are you trying to be a terrorist after coming to United States, or trying to support a terrorist, or are you representative of an organization, terrorist organization? Then are you trying to is your son, spouse, or anyone is involved with any terrorist activities? Then have you ever incited or committed, assisted any genocide? Mostly it's no. Unless and until you are, if you are from India, I don't think you would have done any of these things. The answer is no. Have you ever committed, ordered? Again, same thing, similar stuff of if you have committed any serious crimes. Otherwise, answer is no for all these questions. Have you committed any fraud to obtain any visa in the past? So if you have done any mischiefs and got caught and got yourself corrected, then probably you have to give an explanation. If not, if you're genuinely coming into United States, then answer is going to be no. Have you ever removed or deported from any other country? That means if you have done some misuse, and if you have been sent officially back to your own country from their country, then you might have to give us and explain here. Otherwise, it's going to be no. So we have come to the last part of a few other questions. So if you have you ever been denied to take custody of a United States kid? So yeah, this is a very complex situation here again. So if you are not from, if you don't have affiliation towards United States, and if you are a simple person who's living in India, then the answer is going to be no. Have you ever voted in United States in violations? Again, these are people lived in United States and now they have become Indians, and now they wanted to go back to US using a different category. So that means like they have lived in United States, then they gave up their citizenship and became an Indian. Now that situations have changed, they wanted to go back, those kind of situations. So mostly like the answer is going to be no. Have you ever renounced a United States citizenship for the purpose of avoiding tax? Again, yeah, so these are questions related to, if you have held a citizenship previously. So the answer is going to be no. Or a former exchange visitor, J type. So if not, mostly H1B. So you fill out this question. If it is applicable, then probably you might have to explain. Otherwise, the answer is going to be no. Again, here they are asking your I-797 question. So you go and grab your I-797, fill out your receipt number, then again fill out your manager or your attorney, which the name whichever is given in your I-797, fill out that. Then if you have a client name who you are working for, so if you have a client letter or something, so then go and fill out that information here. Otherwise, like you have to just fill out the information of your current employers, head office and stuff, and you have to fill this page. First step is your labor certification. So you can go and grab that I-129 form. So that will have your salary information. So you can grab that. If you're having an annual salary, divided that into 12 and put that number here. Here comes the end of the whole form. If you're going in person for the interview, they may take your picture. If you're going for a Dropbox, then you have to take a picture and attach it to your Dropbox. So here you get the opportunity to go through the entire information again. So slowly and patiently go through all this information again, or even if you're planning to send it for a review to somebody, I would recommend a very good approach is to take a screenshot of all these pages and send it to your attorney for review. So immigration attorney, they would be the best person who can tell you whether you have made any mistake or not. They are kind of obligated to review this. So it's a best practice, like you can take a screenshot of all these pages and tell your attorneys. So if you go next, every page that you have filled, it is going to display it here. So you can very well go and read your answers again, or even if you're asking somebody to review it, you can review it and come here. So you come to the final page. So here you will be saying that again, the standard disclaimers. So you here again you will be checking this, that you have read, understood everything, and then here you can say that did somebody assist you in filling out this form. So these are for people who cannot read and read proper English. So let's say if you're filling out for your parents, so this might be applicable, right? So because you might be filling it for your parents, so that means you will be filling out your information here. But otherwise, if you're a H1 or a lone worker who are filling for yourself, then you'll not be saying yes, you'll be saying no, and the final information, then you have to enter your passport number and this code here, and if you submit it, that's all. Your DS160 is filled and you will see the confirmation page. So this page will not become editable, or this form will not become editable after this section. So make sure that you review it once or twice before submitting this form, because once you submit this, you will see only the confirmation page. Hope this video is helpful and you are able to fill out this form along with me if you are doing it already. If not, pause and skip to each section to understand like what section contains what and how to fill it. And if you have any questions, drop me in the comment. I'll try to address your questions as much as possible with the best of my knowledge. Thank you.